What's up, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. The end of this month, the end of October, is actually going to mark my first full year of making YouTube videos full time, and I'm really trying to finish strong. So if you guys could do me a favor and drop a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. But enough about me. If you guys watched the last episode of Planet Zoo, we finished up our very cool Indian elephant exhibit, and I'm a super big fan of this. I love these big dudes and dudettes. Big boys out here just chilling. We did actually get a new male, which is kind of different. I don't normally get rid of our initial animals until they're, closer to death. That sounds bad. But I got a new male because our initial one, the stats really just weren't there. And if I want good offspring from these, I'm gonna have to have at least one solid male. So with him now part of the zoo, we have one bebe over here, a 58, 67, 67, 67. And then we have another bebe. She is a 50, 83, 67, 100. So a little bit better stats on her. And all of the other exhibits are doing really well. The llamas, not the greatest. It's really difficult to find llamas with decent stats. Ostriches, phenomenal. As always, having tons of bebe. Lions are okay. I don't remember what their offspring were, though. Okay, she's got a name. Dude, did I not go through and rename these? Oh, well, Jonas is a release. We have Tahir. Ooh, 92, 100, 83, 100. I should probably not be doing this, and I should probably be talking about what we're gonna do today, but you gotta tend to the zoo, dude. You can't just forget about all your animals. Peafowls are doing well. Greater flamingos are also doing well. Peafowl having a ton of bebe recently, and I'm just trying to release as many of them to the wild as I can. But today, I suppose I'll probably talk about finally what we're going to do today. We're going to be placing a new exhibit. Surprise, surprise. It's not a Planet Zoo episode unless you're placing a new exhibit. So we've kind of started to expand outwards on the outskirts of the zoo now, but there is this little section over here of underdeveloped land. It's just super bare. There's absolutely nothing going on here. So I think this is going to be the perfect spot to create an underwater viewing exhibit. I think I want to try to do the crocodiles, the saltwater crocs, just because now that we do have a ton of conservation credits at our disposal, we might actually be able to adopt some of these. They're very expensive. Everybody wants a ton of money for these things. I'm actually going to sort this by age because I want to see how young people sell them for. So it looks like 13.9, about 14 years old is going to be a good age to adopt. All right, let's sort it back by price again. So we have a 17-year-old, we have a 14-year-old female right here. They're good stats, don't get me wrong, but 9,500 conservation credits for that? That's a little steep. You know what? Dude, I gotta stop pretending that I actually care about how many conservation credits we have. We have the breeding grounds now, which again is doing phenomenal still. That's how we've been able to get as many conservation credits as we have. So I'm gonna go with Daya here. 100% size, longevity, fertility, and 83% immunity. So we're gonna go ahead and adopt her for 9,500 conservation credits. And then if I move this to age low to high, we have, I don't even know how you pronounce that, AJIJ, Ahi, maybe? Size gene 75, longevity 75. Let's compare the mates. Hang on, it's not gonna let us compare the mates if we're paused. All right, can we do it now? No. What is happening? Hang on just a second. Let's go to animal trading. Dude, she's in our trade center. Okay, maybe now that we've done that, we can compare the mates. Nope, still can't do nothing. I think it's safe to assume that their offspring would be pretty good. And for such a cheap price, 635 CC, that's worth the risk. I'm gonna go ahead and adopt him. Okay, now we can actually compare the two. So their offspring has a large potential to be infertile, which isn't ideal. Immunity does drop significantly if you don't have everything at 100%. But I've kind of found that if you have a 100% everything female and a 100% everything male, 9 times out of 10, the baby's stats are going to be complete garbage. So I still don't know how people get 100% everything babies like all the time, but it's not going to happen for us at this point in time. We have a 90% perfect condition. So I guess without any further ado, we should probably just start in on their habitat and get things figured out. So like I said, I want to try to use this area. I'm thinking I'll add a little bathroom or something over here just because the only other bathroom is clear at the front of the park or they'd have to walk all the way around to this bathroom back here in the food court. So what I'm going to try to do is have a really, really large staircase drop down somewhere around here. Why you no work? Terrain modification fail. Why you no work? I do not understand. Okay, maybe that's not going to work, but we now know how far out that path is going to be. So I'm going to try to lower the terrain down over here, and maybe it'll actually let us do that. All right, we got a nice little divot. Let's go into paths again, and we'll see if we can't lower this thing down. See, it's still not working. So I'm going to go into my settings, and we're going to change a couple things. Oh, we've already disabled pretty much all of the things. Let's undisable all of that. Can we do it now? Why you no work? Why? Okay, I've officially been working on this for 40 minutes. It's not going well. I will say that it's not going well. The issue I'm currently having is I'm not sure how I'm to drop the terrain down, but also leave enough room to where I can make a staircase, but also be able to place the main path back where it used to be. It's gonna take me a while longer. After what seems like ages, I think I finally got something to work. So, like I said, the issue that I was having is when you have a path that goes underground or tunnels, it doesn't like to connect to paths that are on flat terrain. For whatever reason, it just doesn't work. That's why these little bars are here in the path to sort of signify that the elevation has changed slightly and it's not perfectly flat, if that makes sense. A couple of the areas around here are pretty ugly. I'm just gonna do the very best I can to try to fill that, whether that's with scenery or with something else. I think bushes might work really well in these weird little corners where the tunnel unfortunately is, but I was able to hide quite a bit of it, getting this other path to actually connect right here. So all in all, while that was an enormous headache, it finally looks halfway decent. I'm not super sure about having just a circular viewing area for the underwater section of this, but since we do still have this area over here open, I'm thinking we could take it from here and stretch it out just behind this peacock habitat and sort of give the guests higher ground to also view the animals, not just at water level. And with that, now we have to try to figure out where we want the water to be. So the actual barrier for the underwater part will of course be glass because we want the guests to be able to see the crocodiles. So I think if I just lower the terrain this way, maybe we should do barrier first because that's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes. So let's get our one-way glass right here. I have high hopes for this, dudes. I'm really hoping that this works out. So the path starts to curve right about here. So I'm gonna try to drag this to where that curve initiates. Something like that, I think. That looks fairly straight anyways. And now we're gonna use much shorter sections to try to get the curvature to look right. All right, so this is the radius that we're gonna be working with, the curvature of the viewing area, the underwater section. I realize the glass is facing the wrong way, but I wanted to get this place down just so we could try to get a feel for what it's actually gonna look like, because I'm not 100% sure where the glass is actually going to end and where a wall or something like that would begin. So we could end up changing a few of these pieces of glass to something a little bit more structurally sound, but I think this should work for now. And is that a... No, that's just electricity. I was going to say, we have a water treatment facility. We'll have to add one of those in, unless the one we had for the peacocks will stretch all the way out here. So now I'm going to bring the glass out 20 feet this way, and we're going to run it back probably... I don't know how big of an exhibit they actually need. Let's go left a little bit. That doesn't look too bad. And then we have staff paths over here already, so maybe we just drop in a keeper hut in this back area, add a water treatment facility. We are gonna have to bring the fence up so the animals can't escape. But I think this is a good starting place. I figure 92.2 feet should probably be tall enough. But dude, look at this. I guess you can't really get a good feel for it, can you? So this part of the barrier I'm going to get rid of because I think I'm gonna use building pieces to make the area look a little bit more safe. Not just have exposed dirt on the walls. So what we're gonna do now is go ahead and lower down the terrain in their actual exhibit so we can test it, see if we can't put any water in there. Okay, this kind of looks weird. I'm gonna see if I can't get rid of some of these little humps. Doesn't look like it, dudes. That's no bueno. I hate that it does that. Every time you place a barrier down, it totally ruins how you're able to edit the terrain. I'm gonna try to move it. We'll see if this works. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Now, the hardest part about this is going to be moving the barrier back into position. What about that? Not looking too bad. I'm not sure what happened to the fence, but that's okay. We'll just have to go around and manually adjust everything back up to around the height it should be. Okay, how's this looking? Dude, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. I think this is gonna work. Now, this area of the terrain over here, I'm gonna try to drag this in a little bit more, try to match the curvature of the viewing area so it looks a little bit larger than it actually is. And we're gonna have to try to push this in ever so slightly so we can get more of a gradual drop on it. All right, what's that look like from in here? We can't see anything. Holy cow, dude. And I thought yesterday's episode of Planet Coaster was a serious undertaking. This definitely takes the cake. Now, please tell me I can place water in this area. We're gonna try calm water. Valid all the way up to the top, baby. That's what I'm talking about, dude. Yes, look at that. Oh my God, that's perfect. We won't mind this tiny little bit that there's just an air pocket. That's where our filtration unit goes. Something like that. But I'm pretty happy with this. I think that turned out pretty good, all things considered. That water level is just right. So let's go back into barriers so we can get their habitat gate placed down. That's awkward. All right, let's put another pole right there then. Can we do this? Seems to be working. Drag this one up as well. All right, we got our habitat gate. That's all we needed. Can we get rid of this pole now? Will it still work? Yeah, there we go. All right, now it doesn't look as bad. Holy crap, dude. Just issue after issue today. Now I have to try to figure out what I want to do for over here where these gaps in the terrain are. I could fill that with water as well. Got another weird little air pocket. I don't know how I feel about that, dude. It kind of looks a little weird, but we'll worry about that at the end. Let's go ahead and get these animals placed down in here, dude. I'm anxious. I'm gonna move the transformer really fast, and we're gonna grab ourselves a water treatment facility. Rotate that around so it faces the transformer. Next, we gotta grab the staff path. The reason we're doing this is because as of right now, we have no way for our keepers to actually enter this exhibit. All right, let's hop into our animal storage, and we're gonna grab Daya. We're gonna move her into habitat 24, and then we're also gonna grab Ahi. Still no idea on the pronunciation of these names. Now I think we're ready to click play. Hopefully the caretakers can bring these babies out fairly quickly. What is going on here, dude? I am just... The amount of problems I'm being faced with in this episode is astounding. There we go. Turn on flattened terrain. That looks a lot better. Boxed outside of habitat too long. What you talking about? Okay, they just dropped Daya on the ground. What are you guys doing? Did they drop Dude Bro? No, they still got Dude Bro. They're running right over here. Here comes the first caretaker now with, I believe, our male Crocodile. That's Spanish for crocodile, ladies and gents. I don't know if that actually is. That's what I was taught in Spanish class. Holy crap. This dude's an absolute unit. And he had, hang on just a second. He only had a 75% size gene, and he is a monster. We're gonna change his name, of course, to 75, 75, 100, 100. That way we can keep his stats fresh in our mind. I'm sorry, buddy. You're gonna have to suffer here for just a minute. There should be plenty of water for you at the very least. Keeper cannot reach habitat. Mechanic cannot reach habitat. Okay, we'll have to reconfigure the work zones and add in a keeper, of course. He's going straight for the water. He's not messing around. Let's see our female. Our female is really small. Size gene 100%, and she is tiny, dude. I do like the albino looking one, though. That's pretty fresh right there. All right, Daya, we gotta change your name as well. 100, 100, 183. All right, let's focus in on the male, and we'll see exactly what they need for their habitat. Let's check on terrain first. They have plenty of space to run around, and they have plenty of navigable swimming area. So glad I know the word navigable now. All the pop-ups that are happening right now, this is exactly why in the previous episode, Elephantitis, that's why I left the whole game paused, because it's just so annoying. They just keep popping up. So they have too much long grass, they need more shorts, they need more soil, and they need rock. Everything's 100%. Terrain should be taken care of now. They don't actually need any coverage, which is great, because I, for one, hate placing plants down. It's so boring. And their adult population is perfect. Right at the max, it looks like 2. Okay, they're obviously lacking enrichment. So now that we have these animals placed in here, let's go ahead and head over to our vet research and let's get a vet. Start researching these boys. Oh God, we're like maxed out on vets right now. What are we not worried about breeding? Probably the peafowl. Let's go ahead and we'll remove whoever's researching the peafowl and we'll move them over to the saltwater croc. We're not too worried about the flamingos, but we'll leave them on as well. So let's grab ourselves a keeper hut and we'll place it down in this area-ish. Where's the closest? Oh, resting facility right here. Perfect. They can just use the vendor's resting spot. Boom, keeper hut, done. Next, we gotta get a keeper. Drop him down right here, there we go. Now let's head into work zones. We're gonna create a new work zone over here. We're gonna select the habitat, their keeper hut, and this staff resting facility. Rename it Croc Keeper Zone. And then for the caretaker / mechanic work zone, I know I kind of have both of them just sort of running all over the park willy-nilly, but I'm just trying to make sure that all of my bases are covered. Make sure we select that new water treatment facility we placed down. It should be well adjusted now. So let's let everything play out here. Looks like our Croc Keeper is gonna go check on them right now. So let's start adding some stuff in here for these crocs, dude. We gotta make sure these boys and girls is happy. And I didn't see that they needed hard shelter anywhere. It says that their hard shelter is 100%, so I'm not gonna worry about that. But let's get them a nice big food tray. We're gonna put that over here in the corner. Blood scent marker enrichment. I'm gonna drop that over here because once again, I do think I want to bring a path out this way so that guests can view them from above and below. We'll get them a large ball, maybe put that on the sand as like a beach ball or something. We got a mud bath, that's pretty cool. I'm assuming they're gonna like this a whole lot, so I'm gonna put it right over here. We have a prey scented sack, put that up over there. A restraint feeder, kind of drop that in the sand right there. We got a rubbing pad, put that over there. Oh, water pipe. Wait, somebody told me a long time ago that if I have an exhibit that has water, I don't actually need to place a water pipe because they'll just drink from the water source. So I'm not gonna put a water pipe in this one. We'll see how that goes. And then just in case they do actually need some hard shelter, I'm gonna place down, what was this even called? South American shelter. I don't know if South America has saltwater crocodiles or not, but that's what we're going with. And then we'll add in some extra large bedding in there. All right, and what's your guys' temperature supposed to be like? Let's open up their Zoopedia. 54 to 108 degrees. So we will have to put some heaters in this area come winter time. I'm just gonna drop a couple in and we'll put them at like 60 degrees. All right, heaters are placed down. How you doing, girl? Feeling good? Welfare 98%. Nutrition is the only thing that's low, but we got to do a little bit of research so we can up their food grade when it comes time to do that. But I think this is okay for starting area for these Crocodiles. Look at this dude. Look at this dude, an absolute unit. I kind of want to see them swimming though. I'd definitely like to see them swimming a little bit. Like not just above water, I mean going down under. And it doesn't look like any of the guests are very amused, which is upsetting. I really want to see more traffic down this way, but I suppose we haven't really been letting it play out that much. Maybe people aren't even aware that we have crocodiles just yet. So we know the animals are pretty happy in their new habitat. What I'm gonna do now is hit you guys with a little time lapse. I'm gonna try to surround this area with not really a shelter, more of just a barrier so we can kind of get that ugly terrain look to go away. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I'll see you guys here in a sec. We did it. We're finally done. It is complete. I didn't do any scenery in the actual habitat. I'm thinking I'll probably do that off camera just because since the animals don't really require it, it's not a necessity for their survival. I think we're just gonna leave it as it is. But dudes, this thing looks sweet. Let me take you guys on a little tour, all right? Let me take you on a little tour. Actually, we can probably hit play again, start letting people flood this area. I realize I left it paused during most of that time lapse, but I'm honestly really surprised. Is that poop down there? No, that's a heater. I'm honestly really surprised that there aren't a ton more people over in this section of the park. With it being kind of this unused space in the park, I figured, or the zoo, I should say, I figured maybe more people would be in this area and be more inclined to, you know, check out a new exhibit, but that doesn't seem to be the case. We have 2,800 people in the park and only 2 in our brand new exhibit. It's a shame. It's a real shame. But on the inside down here, I couldn't actually use a legitimate wall in order to do the things that I wanted to do. So I used a plaster wall that didn't have a grid system. And then I also used, they called it a mural. I'm not really sure what it is. I couldn't change the color, but I'm honestly okay with that. I think the blue gives a much needed emphasis on the water. We got a couple of security cameras up here just so we can catch some people in the act if they're trying to act out. But I'm super, super happy. Underneath all of the trees and plants and things that we put over here, if you guys can kind of tell on this little bit here, I actually found a moss that said it was dynamic. So when you place it down, the texture actually moves with the rock. So it was one of those ones that you can place down over and over and over again in the exact same position, and it's not gonna look as repetitive as it might if you were doing like rocks or something else. But we definitely killed the scenery on the exterior of this thing. I mean, we have plenty, that's for sure. But I need people to go check out the Crocodiles. I don't understand why nobody's interested, dude. It's breaking my heart. We have a couple of people using the new path that I made. We have some billboards and some signage out here as well, some educational speakers, a decent amount of decoration. I didn't want to do very much over here because I don't want the plants and everything to, you know, get in your way when you're just trying to view an animal. You don't really care to see a bunch of plants everywhere. So it's pretty spaced out. Definitely doesn't look as repetitive as some of the other things that I've done in the past. And these people are trying to, aw, you're saying aw for a crocodile? That's a first. These people are trying to get a good look at them. I wish they were getting viewed more, dude. I thought for sure this was gonna be like a home run. Uh-oh. All right, flamingo trying to inbreed. I don't think so. We're gonna throw you on a contraceptive really fast. Let you do your thing, and then we're gonna turn around, take you off contraceptives, and you should be fine. There we go. Take you back off now. Oh no, I did it too early. Offspring too. Whoops. That's all right. We can afford a couple of inbred flamingos. Then you got these people over here that are like, oh, maybe I can get a good view of the crocodiles from here. Idiots. Absolute idiots. Not a chance. And again, we have one person in the base of the underwater viewing area. Like, this is such a cool concept. I'm so mad that not a lot of people are even remotely interested in coming down to this area. All right, well, I don't think I have really a whole lot else I want to accomplish in this episode, but if you guys made it through the whole thing, I appreciate you watching. I think I'm gonna go ahead and wind things down here. So if you guys did enjoy, please leave a like, leave a comment, help support the dream by smashing that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Peace.